this because we have a new microphone on the side of GoPro with a little fuzzy thing. My topic is maximize your opportunities. See, in Chinese, the symbol for crises also is the same symbol for opportunity. And what we call crises is something is interfering with what you want to enjoy or to attain. And so to maximize your opportunities and turn these any crises into a fortunate opportunity is you have to know really the difference between what's really true and what's false. And oftentimes this comes with a lot of years, but going beyond that, not to limit anybody by that, because everything is in the moment. We are covered by so many layers of ignorance. That means false narratives, stories, books. You know, people get so proud they're going to put their child in college, which is basically indoctrination center to make sure that they can get a job in the future. Usually working at, some big corporate business rather than to go into business for themselves with their talents and their abilities and to live the lifestyle that is very nurturing, a very natural lifestyle. So anyway, knowing the difference between what's true and what's false, what's good for you and what isn't. And one of the keys to really know is to notice how much you are really attached or addicted to your 5 sense gratification. That means, and also to the false ego, to the belief system you have about who you are, your value, your importance. You're not good enough, you're too good, you're an elitist, you're not elitist, you're a royal, you're a commoner. These are all fakey designations. And when you get all these fakey what would you call it, denominations, basically groups, and then people are indoctrinated through media, big time, through actors, through musicians, through authors, through anybody or anyone who is paid enormous amounts of money by the control structure at some level to produce a specific narrative, a specific teaching, a specific idea. And you have to know, if you're going to really work for your own benefit, you have to know where you're being hoodwinked, where you're being misled. And that means when you're trying to protect some specific group, that means, what would you say, when people join clubs or groups, and a club is usually what you beat people with. So if you get a whole bunch of people in a club, your club is bigger than the other guys in their club, so you can beat them with your club. See, that and people say, oh, you're just a word person. Well, if you're using words and you're believing your thoughts, it'd be a good idea to get yourself a big, huge dictionary and notice what you're actually saying and you're bringing into manifestation. And so, I'll tell you, the people I really like to work best with, who come to retreats or do my grandmaster mentoring, counseling, any of these works, is that they're already a researcher. And that person has really been studying, not just taking from one teacher or one philosophy or one this, but are really devout researchers and have that thirst for finding out for themselves. And then they actually basically will come to the realization of the distinction between what's stories and fabrications and belief systems and concepts and what is actually true and real. And who and what is true and real is you. And that is our greatest work, and how we maximize this opportunity of being in these bodies at this place now, is to use this opportunity to really liberate yourself from all levels of ignorance. And because see, when we're just into when I say now, I'm not talking about just immediate sense gratification that I'm going to eat, or eat some ice cream made with junk that's not true and real or raw or good or anything like that. It's poison. And if I believe it because a commercial said it, because all my friends are having it, but it makes the body sick, why would I do that? And what happens is, the most important things, like how does your body function, a person isn't really taught in the education system. We'll give you a course on physiology or biology, blah, 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 blah. No, it's very easy stuff. And when you actually, and I feel so lucky, I had my great-grandmother who was a nurse, and all of her healing methods were very simple, just things you had around the house, and natural things that would heal, Epsom salts for magnesium, the cleaning of the colon, the apple cider vinegar that we're using, but all of these kind of things that are so natural and good for people. So how do you maximize the opportunity? Say, for instance, a person has been given the verdict that they have a disease that's incurable. So it's all incurable, but we'll treat the symptoms and you'll manage for a little while longer until your nose fall off. But anyway, you maximize it by really researching yourself. Not just don't research what is been given you through the indoctrination centers as truth, because if that worked, everybody'd be healthy, but it doesn't work. It's not meant to have people be healthy and strong and able. And so you have to hold yourself in high regard. Not better than others or worse than others, but who you are. And unless you own that and take that and use this opportunity, then you're just like just like a mob, just in a mob group of ignorant people who have no idea of who they are, and who are sick, or who are buying this and that and running around like crazy people wanting to be liked and not disliked, and all of these kind of things. And raising our children that way, and having these children grow up through the media, through the indoctrination centers, through all of these kinds of things, to actually believe that's who they are and what they are, when it's not even close. And real self-love is not, oh, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. This is silly. No. Yourself is the divine, the beloved. And there is a reciprocal relationship that is you're unified with. And to keep you keep it active, you're in touch with the divine, which has all knowledge, all wisdom. And when you maximize your opportunity now, look at all of the craziness going on, all of the groups, all of the hate, all of this would kill them, would blow up this one, would give this medical. I mean, just on and on and on. This is a mental institute. And we have been the inhabitants. And you can't escape by using the same system that traps you into it. You have to, that real self-love is self-honoring. That you really, really have that, sit down and have that talk with yourself if that's what you think you need. But it's usually you in the mind. It's not that. But to realize you're an eternal being, dear one. You're not a flash in the pan. It isn't about who's famous and who's the top one and the top 10 and the top 5 and the bottom one and the top this and that. This is a distraction. And the only one who truly, really, really, really cares about you is you and others who are like you and me and us. You see, and you know what I'm talking about. And you've got to do your work. And what happens is people, when they do their work, they get so, if people don't do their own work, they're so busy judging and evaluating and judging this and that, and you did, and competing and thinking everybody's like this, and they're so confused. They're fighting it all the time. Don't tell me I'm this, I'm not. And then, it's just, they're digging their own hole. you might say. And that really is a grandmother's talk with the kids. And senior wisdom, if the seniors have been really devout spiritual researchers and appliers and living this, is how do you maintain yourself in nature? Most people don't know that. They have no idea what they could eat even around the yard where they're living. They're poisoning everything. They're doing this and that and this and that. And the stuff they're taking, the electronics. You know, when you come to my retreats or from a session or a counseling session with me for a couple hours, I don't allow cell phones and wireless. I don't use pesticides and chemicals. I don't use body washes in my house and sprays and things. I don't do that. And I might be considered old-fashioned, and I might be considered out of it, but I'm with it. Because it is not it out here. It is within us. We are that. And when you use the opportunity, right now, wherever you are, whatever so-called age your body, whatever condition, whatever's going on in your life, blah, 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 get over it. And if you're really a sincere person, the knowledge is here and available for you to apply and test and realize. And that true liberation from all of this pain, pleasure racket into the divine of the divine knowing and being and activation and realization and the pleasure, true pleasure of the soul you're seeking is you. And in love with the divine, meaning we're in love with each other at that level, and yet we're not going along to get along. We're not, beating the drum for some this group and that group, and people are so concerned about their genitals. Really? It's where you go to the bathroom. And also is where a powerful process takes place of bringing an earth body, another earth body, to a living entity. You see, who wants to enter into this reality for some reason. Now, since you're eternal and you cannot die, your best investment is the investment you make in your studies, in your realizations, in the knowledge that you get, yes, and apply. And then you could observe and witness what's going on. But you're not take yourself as one of these poor fools who are just being manipulated constantly. They want to be liked. They want to be part of the group. They want to be okay. They want to be this and that. And this. That's all going to end. It's temporary. No, you're eternal. Not temporary. And you are the meaning and the purpose and the mission of life itself, because you are life. And that's why, my darlings, I do this. And I want to thank all those who help and contribute to this, who whenever they can donate some money while we're playing the money game, or some service or some help, or do something, let other people know. Don't be afraid that other people are going to be better than you and greater than you and have more than you. That's all part. If you have envy and jealous and competition and all of that kind of a thing, you're infected by the mind virus. And the healing or the medicine is you being now, beyond all concepts, beyond the mind, beyond the physical body, beyond the metaphysics, beyond the because of who you are. And that's the most important thing you can do.